In a record of the restoration of Fahai Temple, there is a description of the temple. About 20 kilometers west of the capital city sits a mountain named Cui Wei, with cliffs on the left and springs on the right, clouds and mist floating by. The mountain looks as if protected by wings. The southern side of the mountain boasts of its lush greenery due to its fertile soil. Travelers, whether they are taking a rest under the tall trees or trying to climb to the top of the mountain, have no idea that they are visiting a blessed place. It is in this blessed place that Fahai Temple will come into view when you climb up the stairs. Through the gate to the monastery, you will see two giant lace-bark pines standing in front of the great Buddha hole. These two lace-bark pine trees were planted in Ming Dynasty, when the temple was built more than 560 years ago. Like two soldiers, they have solemnly guarded the safety of the temple for generations. Through the hole, walking about 100 steps, you will reach the temple hall. Standing on the stone steps and looking down, you will find clouds billowing up and then fading away, and red walls and yellow tiles hidden in the lush forests. If you come from the far west, you will be impressed by the ancient architecture of Fahai Temple. Unlike Western church buildings, there are no tall stone columns and domes in the temple. Instead, wooden mortise structures and glazed tiles can be seen everywhere. When you walk through this temple, you will definitely find the existence of the central axis. The symmetrical layout of the courtyards and houses showcases the beauty of balance and stability pursued by ancient Chinese, and also creates a solemn and dignified atmosphere. At the same time of the construction of Fahai Temple, Western designers under the influence of humanism were giving more attention to the use of mathematics and geometry in architecture. Perfection was their pursuit, which resulted in the symmetrical structure of Western churches at the same time. The Chinese and Western concepts of symmetry, though seemingly similar, have completely different origins. Walking around the courtyard, you may wonder why Fahai Temple, also a religious arena, is not as grand and luxurious as Western churches. This actually is attributed to the Buddhist culture of asceticism. Fahai Temple is located in the mountain, and there are many large and small Buddhist holes in its four courtyards, which are hidden in the mountain and surrounded by green trees. The quiet environment, small houses, tiers of courtyards, and mountain paths all create an atmosphere of tranquility monks need to cultivate themselves through their hard religious practice. This pursuit of simple and quiet beauty is vividly displayed in the architecture of Fahai Temple. In any of the halls of the temple, you can find mortise and tenon structures made from wood that have stood there for hundreds of years. These delicate, detailed structures reflect not only the implicit beauty of traditional Chinese architecture, but also the wisdom and hard work of ancient Chinese. When you enter Fahai Temple, you will see the ancient double-eave gable and hip roof. This roof design can be traced back to Han Dynasty. In traditional Chinese architecture, hip roof represents the noblest of its kinds, exclusively used in royal architecture, and the double-eave gable and hip roof is second only to it, enjoying a very high status. Right under the roof is a mortise and tenon structure infused with ancient wisdom. Chinese mortise and tenon technology is comparable to the quintessence of Peking opera. Following mechanical principles, the mortise and tenon structures are not only delicate and beautiful in appearance, but also practical, rust-proof, and dismantleable. Without the mortise and tenon joint, there wouldn't be traditional Chinese wooden architecture that stands in the forest of world architecture. Luckily, the thousand-year-old architectural concept is still very much alive today. Because of its royal background at the beginning of its construction, Fahai Temple resembles the luxurious and exquisite royal palace in many aspects. For example, the roofs are made of yellow glazed tiles, usually decorated with golden yellow, green, blue, and other colored lead glaze. The yellow glazed tiles, together with the golden autumn leaves and the farmland in the harvest season, bring to Beijing the brightest colors. The glazed yellow is the typical color of Beijing City scenery, representing the unique natural landscape of Beijing and its brilliant culture and history. Look, there are also 5 mythical animal figurines squatting on the 4 vertical ridges of the roof. These mythical animals are said to be fireproof, and their figurines are often erected on the cornices to protect the flammable wooden structures of traditional Chinese palace or temple buildings from catching fire. These beautiful and practical small animal figurines sit on the cornices, adding beauty and majesty to the ancient architecture. The architecture of Fahai Temple shares some color characteristics of Tibetan Buddhism. The color matching plan has been an important part of the reconstruction of Fahai Temple, which shows the temperament, styles, and artistic conceptions of the temple architecture. Traditional red, green, yellow, and blue colors are the dominant colors of the architecture of the temple, typical of traditional Chinese art. Of these colors, yellow represents brightness and holiness, and can add gravity and solemnity to the buildings of the temple. Red is more eye-catching and auspicious, implying blessings and prayers. Green represents the peace and tranquility of nature and the integration of the temple and nature. Blue can increase the grandeur and magnificence of the buildings. Fahai Temple embodies the aesthetics of Chinese architecture and is a precious cultural treasure in human history. After hundreds of years of vicissitude, Fahai Temple has gained a rebirth and been restored to its former glory. When we again stand in Fahai Temple, an intersection of Buddhist culture and traditional Chinese architecture, we will feel the charm of their integration.